Hi everyone, it's Chip Walton here at Northern Brewer. I want to tell you a little bit about a very exciting dry yeast strain that's kind of changing the sour beer game. I'm talking about Lallemand's WildBrew Philly Sour, possibly the easiest and cleanest way to make a sour beer at home. What makes Philly Sour so unique is that it produces alcohol and lactic acid in one primary fermentation. That means one simple pitch in the fermenter produces a nice sour beer with no need to add lactobacillus to your wort, not before or after brew day. This cuts down on both process time and any concerns you might have for bacterial contamination in your home brewery. The moderate amount of tartness produced makes it an ideal yeast for brewing traditional styles such as Berliner Weiss and Gose, plus the more modern fruited sours, American style lambic, and a whole range of American wild ales. Its resistance to hops also makes it a perfect choice for sour IPAs. The backstory of this yeast is almost as cool as the yeast itself. Philly Sour is a unique species of Lachancea, discovered, isolated, and cultivated from nature at the Woodland Cemetery in Philadelphia. It was actually found on the bark of a dogwood tree, to be exact, thus the name Philly Sour. Here are some vital stats for this special strain directly from Lallemand. The optimal fermentation temperature range is between 68 and 77 degrees Fahrenheit. Lactic acid is produced during the first few days of fermentation. Overall fermentation can be expected to be complete in about 10 days. It has both high attenuation and high flocculation. The aroma and flavor is sour, as you can imagine, but also brings really nice notes of red apple and stone fruit, most notably peach. This strain is phenolic off-flavor negative, or POF negative, which means it doesn't produce any spicy phenolic flavors. And the best part, in standard wort conditions, this yeast achieves a typical pH of 3.2 to 3.5 and a titratable acidity of 0.1 to 0.4% lactic acid. One thing to note when you're designing a recipe around Philly Sour, higher lactic acid levels will be achieved in worts that are higher in glucose. The addition of simple sugars boosts the tartness, which is why Northern Brewer developed our recently released Philly Weiss beer recipe kit to include an addition of corn sugar at the end of the boil. We suggest brewing that beer if you want a nice entry-level experience with this yeast. If you want to know more about this strain, we're going to link to 2 in-depth technical webinars from Lallemand in the video description. The bottom line here, Philly Sour produces a moderate amount of lactic acid and alcohol in one simple fermentation. No lacto required, which makes it an awesome option for sessionable sour beers with a nice level of acidity and sourness, as well as notes of stone fruit. With its high attenuation, high flocculation, and great head retention, it's an ideal yeast for traditional and not so traditional styles of sour and wild ales. You can get WildBrew Philly Sour now at northernbrewer.com. We're very excited about it and we encourage you to use it in our Philly Weiss beer recipe kit or in your own homebrew recipes. When you do, please come back and share your experience and beer tasting notes with us in the comments below.